picture. And red.
So your fires are always going parallel. Always parallel. There is none of this. If you do that, I can't help it. I'll have to come and straighten it. I just have to. That's just the way it is. Because that's how they work the best. It'll burn the other way, but there's less adjustment this way. So with the pitch stick thing, when you want to start the fire to start with, this stuff is really good because I tend to use it to start the fire, and it's a huge concentration of sap, and it like I say, there's nothing better for starting a fire. And I even see it now. Like I said, they're selling it in Canadian Tire and stuff in bundles, and I just laugh at it because we can just go in here and get it.
They sell water in bottles too.
Good point. You've got inferior wood. It's wet out. Anything will burn. Anything will burn if you have a hot enough fire. That's the thing. You need a hot enough fire. All you got to do is walk through a forest fire afterwards, after the forest fire, to see. And everything's burnt. The wettest log is burnt because the fire's been hot enough. And that's why little fires are no good. With me, it's go big or go home. We have big fires.
Good.
That's it. We have big fires, big controlled fires. You got to control them, but they got to be big. Your fire is, this is your height, eh? So that is going to be the size of your fire. That's what you're trying to achieve, a fire in that respect. Not a little round fire, but a fire that long. Because when you're sleeping beside that fire, that means that when you're sleeping beside it, you have the whole length of the fire. And then you build a wall behind it. It's called a wall back fire. And a wall back fire is where you take those inferior logs, those ones that won't burn very well, and you pile them up. And you make a backing behind it. Now it won't burn immediately because it's wet. But what happens is eventually it dries out and you just keep pushing it in. And the idea, of course, I said being this long, is that you have that, you can lay beside the fire then in your survival bed that we will make, show you how to make the proper bed so you can get that 8 hours of comfortable sleep. Guys, what you don't want is you don't want it to go up and down all the way. I would just say if the whole thing started sloping down, that's fine. In fact, commonly one of the shelters I'll make does that because you don't need a lot of space for your feet on.
Yeah, that's extra.
So you just make a shelter that's on a slope.
That would be better actually, because then you'd have less cooled air.
Exactly, yeah. You don't need necessarily all that space. So you just alter them, eh? One way, one the other. One way, one the other, in handfuls of about 3 at a time. Keeping them in order. Keep them in order so I don't have to flip them in here.
That was the wasp nest?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you already got the balls.
Look at it.
That's impressive.
One single little strike, eh?
Ooh, whoa.
That's so cool. How cool is that?
There you go.
Fire! We have made fire! These at hand too. If it starts to burn, you can just start throwing them on top.
We can do.
Quick one, then it just tucks underneath 2 logs and your fire's right there.
Okay.
And I know a life jacket's not hard to use, but it's just an example of the fast necessity to need to know. And it's the same with your survival. Twist, and then I wrap. And then I twist, and then I wrap. So you're twisting, I'm twisting the same way. I'm twisting that way. I'm twisting it.
Oh yeah,
Go to
it's
this
been there
first
for
aid
months.
course one time over on Hornby. And one of the young fellas was all stoked, eh, because he wanted to go down and get the bones. And we went down there, and it was. I said, "Oh, I'm dedicated, but not that much."
Oh, you can
It was
you can
bad.
smell it.
Yeah.
You know.
But those are cool. Huckleberries.